Hello YouTube, this is Transient Stacker here in my truck as usual. And today I wanted to tell the story of the very first gold coin I ever held in my hand. The very first gold coin I ever saw in real life. And this was back in high school. And a friend of mine had, I believe it was a 1/4 ounce Krugerrand. It might have been a 1/2 ounce, but I believe it was a 1/4 ounce Krugerrand that he had gotten from a burglary. But before you think too badly about my friend, let me tell you the story. Now, this is a testament to how bad the crack epidemic got in the 1980s. We lived on the most suburban street in the most suburban city, and yet there was a crack house on our street. And when I say crack house, I don't mean an abandoned house where people went and smoked crack. I mean drug dealers selling crack. And it became pretty obvious that they were selling drugs. I mean, there were cars coming and going at all times of day and night. And I remember hearing that one of the neighbors, who was a firefighter, had looked over the wall and saw a bunch of marijuana plants growing. So pretty much everybody on the block knew they were selling drugs. And also back in the 1980s, gangs had gotten really big. I had a bunch of skateboarder friends who formed this lame-ass gang called the Bad Boy Posse. Yeah, posse, that's the 80s term right there. And I remember they had one gun and they didn't have any bullets for it. But luckily I had screwed up so bad in high school that I was taking extra classes just trying to get enough credits to graduate, so I didn't get caught up in that nonsense. But my friend who had the Krugerrand, he was in a crew, which is kind of similar to a gang. And they had a name, and there were a bunch of friends who hung out together. Eventually they formed a car club, but that was later on. Anyways, they did do some crimes together. They didn't go so far as to gangbang, but they did a few things like breaking into these drug dealers' house one day when the drug dealers weren't home. And they stole a bunch of things, including a big box of CDs. I remember that. That's how we used to listen to music back in the 80s, by the way, on CDs. I think they stole some drugs and a gun, and they also stole a Krugerrand. And the funny thing is that when I got into stacking, I sent a text message to my friend, who's now a police officer, and said, remember that gold coin you got from those drug dealers? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And I realized that if the wrong person read that message, it wouldn't look too good, like he's taking bribes or something. But actually he got it from a burglary back when he was a juvenile, and I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations has run out, so I don't think he has anything to worry about. Plus, I don't think the drug dealers went to the cops, so anyways, there's a lesson to be learned from this story, that us stackers have to worry about thieves. And also, don't sell crack. Well, thank you, and remember, you don't mess with the Bad Boy Posse.